Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to Elders Boxing. We back again. Got a weekend recap for you guys. Got some news and notes to talk about as well. Fight announcements, all that good shit. Y'all know how we get down. Salute to everybody coming through the building. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Salute to the playback. I appreciate you guys coming through as always. Yes, sir. We're gonna get into it. JC, what's good? Marlon Prince, what's good, bro? What's good with y'all? Yes, sir. All right, we're gonna go back. Friday, June 19th, yo. This shit was crazy right here. This was Navarro versus Duran. This is a super middleweight fight, but this fight, they was fighting in the pour down rain, yo. It was crazy. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have a canopy over the rain. Like normally when you see fights outside, they got something over top of the canopy, right? These dudes fighting in the pouring down rain. So they had to basically postpone. Then they fought like 2 or 3 rounds, and then they couldn't fight in that shit. Motherfuckers were slipping, all types of shit. So let's see if they reschedule this. This is for the EBU title, super middleweight. This actually was an important fight because Zurin actually has a high enough ranking where he can possibly get a world title shot sometime soon too. So let's see if they reschedule this show. That shit was crazy, bro. I don't know but that's the risk you take fighting outside. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was wild. Friday night, we had Misfits Pro. This was their first card in the U.S. My bro Mike in the building. What's good with you? So Misfits Pro, they fairly new. I know they used to be Wasserman. They kind of like the Sutherland brothers, but they kind of do like the YouTube fighters and all that shit. But they actually had some solid prospects on this card. You know what I'm saying? David Lopez is nice. He used to fight with Overtime. He had a first round knockout, easy money. Tito Mercado he can fight. We know he can fight, but the level of competition and the lack of wanting to fight tougher competitions kind of got me sour. I'm just gonna keep it a buck because his call outs don't equal out to his matchmaking. So he stopped Burgos. We know Burgos been around for a long time. Fought Mikey Garcia back in the day, Keyshawn, Andy Cruz. He fought everybody. This wasn't a comparison fight for me. It was just that's what he's supposed to do. Because Burgos just got to California like Friday afternoon. So it people talking like this is such a crazy feat. Mercado's supposed to stop Burgos, but Mercado is like that though. Don't get me wrong. I don't like his matchmaking, but I think he's like that. That's what disappointed me because I think he can get down with a bunch of 140s, 140 pounders. And he probably can beat a lot of these guys. It's just the matchmaking. I don't fuck with it because y'all go fight Burgos. You know what I'm saying? Out of all these guys, and Burgos is a guy that Keyshawn fought when he was on his way up, like his second or third fight. I think Andy Cruz fought him in his second fight. Like that ain't no flex, Burgos, but it is what it is. We gotta tighten up on the matchmaking because Tito is like that for sure. He gonna have to get in a mandatory position because a lot of guys not just gonna offer him to fight. But still, like that was crazy. Y Sports betting in the building. What's good? Salute to you. Apple LD, what's good? He said, I wouldn't mind saying Mercado versus Jermaine. I wouldn't mind saying it either, but does his team want it? That's my question. Because obviously they're telling us that they don't. Because Burgos, they had to go get Burgos from Mexico. He was chilling. I don't know what he was doing, but Burgos ain't fought. I don't know how long, and that was wild. But he did, as always, Mercado looked good. We just need to see him step up. So I like those names. I'd take them. My man Anderson, Amir Anderson, he had a tough fight, went some rounds. He had a tough guy in front of him, Sylvain, and they went the 10 round distance. That was a good fight. Amir, he switched hits, a good athlete, solid. And he stayed in the southpaw stance, an all boxer dude. Dude was kind of one dimensional, but he was tough. Anderson I think he had all knockouts before this. But actually going the 10 round distance with a durable guy is probably it's gonna be good for him down the line. So that's what's up. We had a minor upset in the co-main event. So we had Jahan Ingram versus Devin Cushion. So Cushion was he outboxed my man, easy money. I thought he probably lost maybe 1 or 2 rounds. Kind of easy work for me. Jahan, I don't know. He was the one thing that he had an issue with was the size. That kid was much bigger than him. And he was just outboxing him. He couldn't get the range and stuff like that. And yeah, so and that was I mean, this guy came in what 18-0. And Ingram, this is a step up fight for him. But Ingram never really fought a lot of top competition though, so this was bound to happen. You know what I'm saying? He's been looking so on a lot of these misfit shows. You know what I'm saying? He haven't been looking like he's gonna be so crazy. So it's not really a surprise that he lost. Um, he did fight hard and whatever, but he just wasn't good enough. So let's see. But Cushion, put Cushion in the mix. Hopefully he gets something bigger. Um, they gotta stay out the interviews, no adjustments. Yeah. I said, yeah, you see my ex. Yeah, I don't really rock with Cap and Kenny like that. I don't think he's like that as a because my thing is he can break down all these top fighters. He can break them down to a T, to a minute situation. Like you see how he twists his arm. Yeah, bro, I read everything. But you got all these top guys figured out. Keyshawn, Haney, Shakur, everybody, Hitchens. But you can't figure out Devin Cushion? Man, get on with that shit, bro. That shit is wild to me. That's how you know dude is capping, but motherfuckers eat that shit up. But a real one like me, we ain't falling for that. Hell no. You can't figure this guy. He wasn't doing nothing crazy. All he was doing is just stepping back out of range, using the jab. He was out there looking like Ivan Redcash for real. So I don't know. That's how you know that shit is wild. And I understand you can lead the guy to the water, you can't make him drink if the guy's not good enough, whatever. But shit, if you can break down, every single detail about all these top fighters, then this guy, even though he's a lesser guy, he should be able to figure this shit out. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. Main event H2O Ashton Silva. He was back. He fought the faded journeyman now, Jojo Diaz. He won by unanimous decision. He boxed well early. You know, he's another guy that can switch and all that. I still think he's I don't know. He got a lot of flaws. His head's still in the air, straight up in the air. If Jojo started late too. He didn't start fighting until shit the fifth round. I thought maybe if he would have brought it a little bit sooner, he probably could have had more success. But H2O was in control. He limped to the finish line though. JoJo kind of finished strong, but it wasn't nearly enough to get the win. So H2O is back. He said he want to fight somebody. He ain't call him out, but yeah, man, it's good. He came out that devastating knockout a couple years ago. He's still trying to get himself back in position. So I ain't mad at that. That was a good win for him actually, because he needed those rounds too. He's still a young guy. Um, was in the orthodox stance. Was doing pads. He must not. Yeah, see, I never look. I ain't gonna lie, bro. And maybe everybody got their own quirks and everything. This because like he trained a popular fighter. That don't mean I like him as a coach. I ain't gonna lie. I stopped rocking with him at the Gamboa fight. I said this on my channel before. I remember they was interviewing him. This is after the weigh-in. Tank came late to the weigh-in. He weighed in. He pushed Gamboa. But later on that night, they seen Coach Calvin in the lobby, and there was a lobby of the hotel. They like, yo, how Tank feeling, man? He good to go? He was like, I ain't seen Tank since the weigh-in. I was like, oh hell no. And then that the way I seen how Coach Cunningham looked with Tank, and then how they work. I like how Coach Cunningham's system. You know what I'm saying? Those dudes feel I don't know. They I don't know. I don't trust them in big fights. I mean with Tank a monster. He one of the best in the game. So I mean, it's not really so crazy to kind of guide him because he got that talent. He nice. He got that one hitter quitter that can bail him out of situations. But those guys feel like they I don't know the word for it. I don't know, but I just don't like them as a coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather take Coach Cunningham. Yomar Alamo. Oh, that I mean, that's not bad for him. No, that's not bad for him for sure. No, that's not bad. That's not those probably solid kind of progression fights too. But yeah, I don't really rock with them like that. Both of them, Calvin or Kenny. All right, Queensberry. This was yesterday. Ryan Gardner versus Michael Manisi. Undercard, Taylor Bevan had a tough fight with Lewinsky. He ended up getting the win. That was a tough fight. The big heavyweight, Olanian, he looked good. Good young heavyweight. Arthur versus Edmondson. That wasn't a good fight. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That shit was boring. Um, Edmondson ended up getting the win, but I ain't gonna lie, I faded off that shit. Goldsmith put on a great performance against Brad Pauls. I like that performance. That was dope. The Southpaw, he was in control of the fight, and he boxed Brad Pauls up pretty good. Dropped him in that fight and got a wide decision win. So salute to him. You know what I'm saying? That was because Pauls was coming off a good win over Shaquille Thompson. Thompson was in position to fight for the vacant IBF title, but Paul stopped him late. He was losing that fight, but he came back and stopped him late. But this fight looked like he was just his feet was in the mud. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it was. I don't know if Goldsmith was just that good or Paul's was just that trash. I don't know which one. Gardner versus Manisa. This was a good fight. Those guys was bumping. Best fight of the weekend. Those guys were stumping back and forth. The difference was Gardner is quicker and he had a little bit, a little bit more sauce with his shit. Manisa was just sitting right there. And, those guys were stumping, going back and forth, went all 12 rounds. This is for the WBC interim title at 130. So Ryan Gardner won the fight pretty clear. He's the mandatory for Shockey Foster. I don't know if that fight is going to happen. We'll see. Um, I don't know if Shockey Foster have a lot of options like that. I don't know. Of course, Shakur fight, that's a big fight for him if he can get it. Talking about Foster. The Navarrete fight, that should be cool. Unification. It should be easy to be made. And then Kakashi, Anthony Kakashi got a mandatory. He got to settle. It's not really a lot of shit at 130. So if Shockey Foster's still going to stay for a while, he probably have to do this mandatory. I don't think he had a mandatory since he won the title. I can't remember. Maybe Rocky Hernandez was. But either way it go, I don't know. I don't know if Shockey Foster may have to go over there. If they have to, I don't know. We'll have to see. But that was a good win by Gardner. Gardner can stay domestic. He can stay domestic and fight. If he can get a Kakashi fight, look, even a wild card like Nick Ball. Nick Ball may be moving up to 130. Uh, Josh Padley, like guys like that he probably can fight and make a defense against. But that was a good win though, because Manisa was bringing it, and he tough. DJ, what's good with you, bro? Yes, sir. Boots versus Xander. Yeah, we tapped in. Moved up to 147. That's good. He probably should have been moved up to 47. They were trying to have him fight Boots back in the day, PBC. Um, I late last night we had a knockout of the year candidate right here. Kingsley Ibe, he slept Dante Stone. The fight wasn't all that lead up until that point, and the knockout was crazy, crazy. Had him slumped. So Ibe, this is his first fight after the fight he had with Big Baby Miller when he knocked his toupee off. And that's a fight he should have won that fight too. He kind of let Big Baby get back in there, but he had a highlight reel knockout last night. That shit was crazy. So I don't know. Maybe he'll be. Ibe seems like one of those opponents for these up and coming heavyweights to kind of test themselves because he really not that skillful, but he got power, so it keep you kind of aware. But yeah, this was on the Turo Boxing YouTube channel. I watched it last night after the Golden Boy show. He can't fight Southpaw. Yeah, yeah. That's a good point. Because Thompson had that shit. Denny. Yep. I don't know what it is. He blew a big opportunity because he could have been in the mix for something over there. You know what I'm saying? But it's what it is. Salute to Goldsmith. He was a mandatory, and that was okay. So he might be in the clear for that. For Shockey Foster, he deserves a big fight. My man Toker's in the building. If probably Ryan Gardner he'll stay domestic. I'm thinking that. We'll see. Shockey Foster deserves a big fight, but it really ain't a big fight at 130 for him, other than Navarrete, and that seems to elude him. So I'm not sure. Yeah, that's crazy. This knockout was crazy though. Here's some results. Last night, this was Rising Star Boxing. This was promoted by Cornflake Lamana, Thomas Lamana. We had Kyron Davis came back with a unanimous decision win. He was the headline of this card. Dwight Flemings, he got a stoppage win. He was coming off his first loss of his career when he lost on Pro Box to Jan Santana. Jan Marcos, my bad. Jan Marcos. That was a fight where they both traded knockdowns, and Flemings could have won that fight, kind of, slowed down the stretch. So, yeah, this was from Philly last night. So Kyron needed a win. He's always been like a gatekeeper type of guy. So let's see if we can make another run, or they can keep him busy or whatnot. Golden Boy. So man, this show was kind of crazy. All knockouts on the basically on the undercards, the prelims. They didn't even show the prelims on the zone. But Caden Griffin's got an early stoppage win. I like him as a prospect though. He's good, exciting. Joshua Edwards, he stopped the dude Peyton. That looked like a funny stoppage win, but whatever. Um, Adelev stopped Velasquez. He dropped him with a nice quick inside shot. And then it looked like Velasquez was trying to get out that fight because he got, well, I don't know how it feels to get punched on the back of your head with some 10 ounce or 8 ounce. And he kind of sold that shit, but he ended up getting stopped to the body. So Adelev, they trying to move him up quick. He won a WBA regional title, so I expect him to be in the rankings coming up. And they trying to push him. Let's see. Give him some more guys. Shit. To be honest, he fighting better competition than Tito Mercado. We being honest. He can take those guys my man mentioned too, like Antonio Moran or Alamo, but maybe somebody in the top 15 in the WBA, like Kevin Brown, somebody like that pops off. But he's good. Gallardo, he won by decision. I think he dropped dude, but that was a tough fight. That's probably the best, most competitive fight on the card. So Gallardo, he won a 4-round decision against a man. I ain't even tapping. I seen that on BoxRec, but I ain't messing with that. Dave Allen got back in the winner's circle. Collazo and Valdez. So we know the whole lead up to this. It's supposed to have been Canoe. It's supposed to be title defense, unified title defense at 105 pounds. Canoe couldn't get into the States. Visa issues. They were circling around opponents. They land on Valdez. And he came there to get a check. Oscar Collazo is nice though. He can fight. Definitely one of the best fighters in these lower weight classes. But it's look. They got him number 9 in the Ring Magazine pound for pound rankings. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't the one to say he don't deserve it or not. I just feel like he got to do a little more. I mean, him acting like he don't want to fight the IBF champion Pedro Tonarand, that's crazy to me. That's That's the type of shit that's actually on par with what's going on with Shakur though. The only difference is those guys are little and nobody's going to cover that. But Collazo is actually on some wild shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Because he should have. It really no reason why that fight couldn't have happened. I can't say money because those guys down there, I don't know if they demand that crazy amount of money. And I know Pedro probably would have took less, but it is what it is. So I think 105 is a done deal. After he stopped this guy last night, easy money, ain't too much to talk about. He want to fight Ricardo Sandoval. I can get down with that. Sandoval is like that. Sandoval got a mandatory with Galal Ufai, but that fight got postponed. We don't know when it's gonna happen. Ufai, I'm pretty sure he still got some residual damage after that, fighting that PED cheat, Francisco Rodriguez. So I'm pretty sure he still got some residual shit from that. So in the meantime, we can get Collazo to go up to 112. And he looked pretty solid, physically last night, but the opponent was on some bullshit. He go up there and beat Sandoval. Now he can kind of make a case for the pound for pound shit. So I would like to see that, I like to see that. That'd be dope. Um, he said Collazo, but yeah, it was pointless. Well, only it was pointless, really, right? But I understand those guys gotta get paid. But yeah, that shit we could have done without that. That whole card, that shit was on some bullshit. Has had 18 months of tune up. Yeah, bro. Nah, I'm with you. That's why I'm like, I used to come on here and big up 105 and we need this fight, we need unification, whatever, whatever. Now I'm like, fuck it. This ban the whole division. Because I feel like those fights down there never really been hard to make. It's not like a lot of guys there. They only in certain countries, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that fight could have happened. And it could have been promoted real well. You got Pacquiao, you got Miguel Cotto. Both of their fighters going at it. That's sellable right there. Yeah, it's disheartening, but hey, I'm like, fuck it, go up to 112 and see what you can do. I hope he gets respect being number three guy. Yeah, let's get it. When that fight supposed to happen? He offered more money. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Mendez couldn't get out that contract. He got a fight coming up. He did. They did offer Mendez a good bag to take that fight with Collazo, but he couldn't get out his fight. You think? Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Yeah. He fought Kevin Johnson. I don't know, but yeah, he ready for that type of opponent. Albright is tough now, but yeah, I think he would be. He should if they pushing him that hard, he should be able to beat Albright. Yeah. All right. So just some random stuff we're gonna talk about, some news of the week, or you know, I ain't get a chance to talk about this one that happened last Sunday, but Abraham Perez he upset Bama Gonzalez last Sunday. That was a good fight too, good performance. He won the WBA interim title in 112, so that makes him one of the mandatory for Sandoval. So I like that. Put him in the mix. Nice little mild upset to beat Bumba. Not sure they're gonna run it back, but I think Perez can get in that mix at 112 pounds. Johnny Fisher's a free agent. Him and Matchroom split. So let's see where he lands. Shoot, off the top, I'm thinking Zuffa. I don't know, but Johnny Fisher, if he can't beat Dave Allen, so that kind of puts you in a certain box. You know what I'm saying? If Dave Allen is like a journeyman opponent type of guy, and you can't beat him, then you know what I'm saying. You were like basically in that same realm. So I'm not sure. Eddie did build him up a little bit, but it is what it is. He's just not what it is. So let's see. Let's see what he's still a young guy. So heavyweight. Those guys mature later, but I don't know. He gotta get shit together because he ain't look good after that. He like He ain't look good after that, so maybe Ed is like, I'm cool. October, okay, okay. Perez, but Masquer, that would be good. Yep. Fisher was meant to fight August 22nd. Copper Box Matchroom show looked like Ladar with headline instead. Ladar. Yeah, George Ladar, middleweight. I like him too. He's solid. Let's see if we can. Who they gonna give him? Cause I like Ladar. Honestly, if they still in the ammo business, I actually like ammo versus Ladar. But I'm not sure. Matchroom got a new signer. They released one, get a new one. Divine Armador. Um, Armador. Yeah, he just signed with Matchroom. So let's see if he can get on these. You know, on one of these cars coming up. Matchroom low key been signing some solid young talent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm pretty sure they did their homework on this one. So let's get him out. Let's see. Let's see how he look. I know he was a good amateur and shit like that. So this is good. It's always good when these guys kind of like restocking their roster, get rid of some people, and then bringing in some fresh talent. You know what I'm saying? All with the old, in with the new type shit. Oh, that's a tough fight. That's a tough fight right there. That dude gonna take him. He gonna go to war with him. That's gonna be fun. He gonna make him work. Yeah, the WBC. Okay, yeah, that's a good fight. Bilal can fight. Um, Sandoval also. Yeah, he is. Yeah. With the interim title, the WA supposed to be getting rid of the interim titles. That's what they said, but you never know. Sam Goodman and Nashida. They was ordered for the IBF interim. That's good. This is good. They was talking about this at the convention, and then it looked like a report came out that Goodman was going to fight for the WBC interim against Cardenas. That fell out. So um, this is the one that the IBF is going to bless off on. So this one makes sense. We know undisputed champion Naoya anyway. It's kind of waiting, and trying to get shit together, possibly for another fight this year, possibly a big fight with Ben Rodriguez, top of the year, maybe late this year. So this is good because it's telling us that anyway is close to giving up these titles, and the IBF when you become an interim champion, then it don't take that long for the interim champion to get ordered to fight for the full title. They're not prolonging that shit. You know what I'm saying? There haven't been a lot of interim champions in the IBF like over the history. Recently, we had Boots. I think it was somebody else. I can't remember. I think was it Dubois. I can't remember, but it hasn't been a lot. And if there has been, then they automatically gonna get their opportunity. So this is actually a good fight though. Maybe Sam Goodman might have to go to Japan. We'll see. But Sam Goodman has an aggressive promoter. No Limit promoter, No Limit Boxing in Australia. They're probably the most aggressive promotion company in boxing. They got Tim Tszyu, Nikita Tszyu, Sam Goodman, Liam Paro, um, Callum Peters. They got a solid stable. They putting on the show with Earl Spence and them. You know what I'm saying? So they probably try to get that down to Australia. You know what I'm saying? I can see that as well. It's a good fight for the division. Um, yeah, I like it. I like it. We're gonna talk about it too, but I like that for sure. Looks like February for Anyway and Bam. That's good. So maybe both of those guys can get one in for the end of the year. And I know Team Garcia, Robert Garcia, they want to get Bam back, uh, like October, September to unify with Medina. So that should be coming up. All right. All right, ATL versus Uzkatagi. Excuse me. I'm laughing because the circumstances. This is a WBA light heavyweight final eliminator. As if we need another champion in that division, we got three: Dimitri Bivol, Super, the world champion, regular champion, David Benavidez, and then the interim champion is Albert Ramirez. It should be LaRon Richards, but it is what it is. So I'm trying to figure out who the winner of this, who's going to be, who they going to be mandatory for. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know. If they're going to consolidate these belts, that division should be one of the first ones they consolidate. We haven't seen Usyk in a long time, former world champion. When I see him coming to these rankings, the WBA rankings a couple of months ago, I knew something was coming. I was thinking maybe a Najee Lopez fight, but he going over the Russian face. I tell you, so we'll see. You know what I'm saying? This will be on the undercard of Gassiev and Yoka, Joyce versus Solanov. They got announced last week, so not really a bad card per se. Got some solid names on there. So yeah, we'll see. This is IBA right here. Um, yeah, bro. It's crazy. They announced Jaleel Hackett versus Derevchenko. This is a crossroads fight right here. Dubois, Shigyoko, Boots. Yeah, okay, yeah. Appreciate that. And Mortalia. That was the most recent one. Mortala got that off of Adelev, Shigyoko. I remember that. But they don't keep them interim titles that long. They ain't the IBF ain't having these guys be interim champions for 2-3 years and shit, and not order to fight um order to fight the full champion. I think they have in their rules, if I remember, they can't have that belt no longer than 12 months, something like that. But yeah, they actually use it for its true meaning. The WBO does too. But they ain't trying to keep an interim champion either. But yeah. Hackett versus Derevchenko, crossroads fight. This is interesting right here. Derevchenko, we know he's a trial horse, been around. He always came up short. You know what I'm saying? Some Buffalo Bills shit. The football team. He fight for world titles, come up short. I thought he beat Triple G. That should have been his crowning moment. Got the short end of the stick on that. Fought Danny Jacobs to a tough fight. Him and Munguia had a good fight a couple years ago. You know, he coming off a good fight with and Billy. He fought Charlo. So experience, we already know what that is. But it's interesting because Jaleel Hackett, his defense is trash, bro. I don't know what it is. I don't know. The guy to be he's young and athletic and skilled enough. I feel like his defense shouldn't be that trash. Maybe because he taking the Mexican moniker, I guess. Maybe he tapping into his Mexican roots. But that's crazy. He can't fight like he fought his last two fights. Like he fought on Zuffa. He can't fight like that against Derevchenko. I know Derevchenko like 40, 41. I don't know how old he is, but I think he is in 40s. He can't fight like that. He gonna have to get that defense together. And Jaleel Hackett is a guy. Last year he looked great on that card. He always had weight issues when he fought during Crawford Canelo fight week. When he was with Eddie, he had some hiccups, you know what I'm saying? He lost the fight down in Puerto Rico, then a rematch, he hurt his ankle, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. Trying to make weight, he hurt his ankle on the treadmill. So there's been some bullshit. He got rolled off and everything. He had a couple of fights. He's been active though, I would say that. Way more active than Derevchenko. But I don't know. I feel like if he can beat Derevchenko with his youth and this being, I think he's probably gonna be the bigger guy on the night. I know he's taller, but he get hit too much. And Derevchenko is a guy that's gonna make you work, and you can't get tired against Derevchenko. He kind of build up as the fight goes on. So, and then we got questions about Derevchenko. Haven't seen him in a while. He's older. He coming off a torn bicep, right, in the Billy fight. So we don't know. Um, have you seen the news about Jamal? Looks like the fight in Australia could be off. I ain't seen the news, but I'm not surprised by this comment. I'm not surprised. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. That dude is unpredictable. So I'm not. They like I was thinking they was gonna send their guys. Oh, he was arrested for yeah. Yo, I'm thinking they was gonna send guys down there that's dependable. You know what I'm saying? Like a Jesus Ramos or some shit. I think Jesus Ramos, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody like that that they really that dude ain't dependable. So I'm not surprised at all. But yeah, Jaleel Hackett versus Sergey Derevchenko. This on the undercard of Edgar Berlanga versus Stephen Butler. That should be that might be a shootout. Hitchens versus Ricardo Salas. Um, if let's see Hitchens. You know, I think Hitchens gonna beat Salas pretty good, but there's always that back of our mind that we think about him when he fought Lemos when he struggled, but he blamed it because he had a tough weight cut on the West Coast. This fight is in New York City, so there shouldn't be no issues. And he moving up in weight, which I think that's going to help out Hitchens too, because he been at 140 for his whole career. Like those dudes staying down there that long is kind of hurting is diminishing their shit instead of just going up. So it is what it is. Here's the full card for next week. We're gonna talk about it more next week too. But Super Boxing, Evandel Santos versus Jose Valenzuela, Rayo, excuse me, the rematch. That's let's see if Rayo can get it back. He got stopped a couple years ago against De Los Santos. And that was De Los Santos' crowning moment. He ain't really done shit after that. Um, Omar Trinidad, Jerwin Cajas. That should be interesting right there. Jerwin Cajas at featherweight. Trinidad, he's number 2 in the IBF, and since recently Zuffa and the IBF seem to be working like they're gonna be working good together. I don't know, so it's a possibility that Omar Trinidad gets ordered to fight Angelo Leo. We know Raif Salim, he pulled out the fight because when he missed weight, the fight got canceled. He was the mandatory. So Leo don't have a mandatory obligation yet. Well, right now. So it seems like he can make a unification, which makes sense, especially with Espinoza. Like, I don't know what's going on with featherweight. But I can see a scenario if Trinidad beats the former champion, former IBF champion at 115, Jervin Cajas, maybe they order him to face, because he already won an eliminator. He won an eliminator against damn Hector Sosa from Argentina, I believe. So if they, it's still iffy with Zuffa and the other sanctioning bodies, but he is high enough to be ordered. You know what I'm saying? Kane Sandoval versus Brandon Lee. This might be this gonna be a banger. We ain't seen Brandon Lee in a minute. Oh man, he he got a lot of fights though, but he ain't really done that recently. Sandoval's gonna be in his face. That should be a good fight. Brandon Lee, like he lost all his power. You know what I'm saying? So, and he ain't really cracking like that. I don't. And look, one of the things I can never figure out, why the hell did Frank Warren sign Brandon Lee for those year or so? I don't know why. That was a weird ass signing. But he's here with Sandoval. That should be a good fight though. Um, we'll see if Hitch and Styles IBF eliminator. Yep. Yeah, that's another one too. Yep, good point. Yeah, Sosa. Yeah. I watched it on UFC Fight Pass. Yeah, the prelims. I like Tony Hirsch. He coming off an upset win. Cash Flow Floyd Diaz is on there. So yeah, they be having some. I think that last card was some other shit. No, yeah, no, the last card was okay, but the card before that shit was crazy. It was a lot of mismatch. Bunch of IBF mandatories are going to be ordered real soon. Yes, sir. All right, my man mentioned this earlier in the chat, yo. I like this fight, Moses Tama versus Philip Herkovic. This is like another step in the right direction for the young Moses. This is pretty much a WBO final eliminator. Tama is the WBO mandatory, And it looks like Fabio Warley, he exercised his rematch clause to try to go get his belt back against Dubois. Uh, that fight was one sided. It's just intriguing because Warley got that one hitter quitter, so it was a lopsided fight. Because other if Dubois the rounds, he only lost the rounds that he got dropped in. Other than that, Dubois was piecing up Warley. So Warley want to go get that back. Let's see if that happens. But the winner or wherever they decide is going to have to fight the winner of this one. Atama, quick, fast, power in both hands. I mean, he did Franklin dirty. Franklin ain't really come to win. You know, to me, he didn't. I'm low on Franklin, Jermaine Franklin. I am. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust him. That not the Atama fight that got me, the Daichko fight, and then other fights before that. But that was a good performance for Atama. He got 5 rounds, 4.5 rounds, and got up out of there. So he facing a tough Herkovic. You know that he had some issues with southpaws too. He was having a lot of issues with Zane. Dempsey McKean, that was a crazy looking fight too. Um, but Herkovic is solid. He's durable, and he gonna try to take it to Atama. He's just too slow, and he cut too much, and he just had a cut. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably why they pushed it back because originally they were supposed to fight July 25th, but AJ took that date, and then August the 8th, and then they pushed it to August 29th. And this is gonna be on pay per view too. That's crazy. So hopefully they build up this undercard. We get a bunch of heavyweights on there. But I like Moses in this fight, but Herkovic is going to be there to try to win. I just think the speed gonna be too much. You know what I'm saying? But I think Herkovic will test him. But if he run through Herkovic, get him up out of there in 1 or 2 rounds, oh yeah, he need his shot right now. I believe they'll do an IBF eliminator for Atama as well. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's interesting right there. The vacant IBF. So he'll fight Sanchez for that. And nobody want to fight Sanchez. This fight card was announced recently from Japan. This is July the 20th. Got some world title fights on the card. Awata versus Badilio. This is 108 pounds. This is the WBC mandatory. Badilio fights on Pro Box. Pretty entertaining fighter. Win his opportunity. Awata just got the title from CP Freshmart. That should be good. Matsuda versus Higa. That's gonna be a good fight too. But Matsuda, I like him. He's dangerous too. He's a tough fighter. Higa, very consistent. He always have a lot of close fights. You know what I'm saying? He's coming back off of semi-retirement, I guess. He always put up a great effort. You know what I'm saying? I just think this is Matsuda's time. So I'm guessing it's gonna be some type of WBA eliminator. They'll probably take away. They announced as a regular, but WBA is trying to pull back on their secondary title, so eliminator. But Matsuda is like that, coming off a knockout win over Donaire, and he just been looking real good as of late. Higa is tough, but I like Matsuda. And then we have Kenshiro. Kenshiro Taraji is back. He's facing Gonzalez, Israel Gonzalez. This is gonna be solid too. Gonzalez is tough. Been around for a long time. This is for the vacant WBO title left vacant by Bel Rodriguez at 115 pounds. So Tajiri was trying to win. I think this is this third or fourth division. 05, 8, 12. He was trying to win the IBF title. He was supposed to fight Garcia in the Riyadh season card in December, and that shit didn't work out. Garcia got sick, so Tajiri had to wait. So they ain't gonna fight for the vacant WBO. So this is an interesting fight. I think Tajiri kind of lost a couple of steps. We'll see, but I think he should be able to win this fight, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Looking forward to this one though. Okay, third. Okay, appreciate it. He didn't win in 105. Got you. Appreciate it. He's on your timeline. My bad. How do you think Shakur Dev key situation plays out, especially with Gustavo recent remarks? Um, I think I think Shakur and Dev are gonna fight next, and then Keyshawn. I still think they're going to take their time with stripping Haney. Yeah, if they strip him, I think they probably take their time. But we'll see. If they do strip him or he vacates, then I think it's gonna be Keyshawn and Barbosa. Yabuki and Malone. Okay, my man Yabuki going up. So what? This is third division, right? Because he knocked out Kenshiro at 108. Kenshiro came back and got him. Then he got another title at 8. Went to 112. He got the title against Ayala. Now, yeah, bro, I'm with that. Let's get it. I saw them. I was going to talk about that too, but yeah, I'm with that. Let's get it. If Shakur wins, Pacquiao is up in the WO rankings. I don't know if Pacquiao gonna take the Keyshawn fight. Maybe. Hey, I mean, maybe third division, September. Let's get it. I got that on my lineup too. No, I don't. I don't got it. But yeah, I'm team Yabuki over here. MVP. They announced another show where they announced more fights on the show. This is August the 8th. In Orlando, you have Shanika Johnson defending her undisputed crown against Dana Thorson. This is one of the best fights in women's boxing because Dana Thorson was on the pound for pound list for a long, long time, but then inactivity and stuff like that. So this is a good fight. This is one of the better fights to be made. Desley Robinson versus Tam Taboo. Yeah, I like this. Desley Robinson just fought. She just beat Mary Spencer a couple of weeks ago. Tam Taboo seems like she's the one to kind of take lead the women's boxing in a good direction. She's tall and rangy. She was an Olympian. Dexter Robinson, she's an OG, been around for a while. She got power. She tricky. This is a good fight. Unified title fights. The other two belts. So we should get. I don't know why they're taking so long to announce this, but Carissa Shields dropping back down to 160 to face Kay Scott. I don't know why they act like they holding on to this shit like it's some big dark secret and shit. Everybody knows that's tapped in. So that'd be the other half of that division. But that's a good fight. And then Sharetta Metcalf is going to face the former IBO champion at 118 pounds, Amanda Galley, who is coming off a loss to Shanika Johnson. Yeah, it's gonna be pressure from Galley. It's gonna be Metcalf boxing and moving, trying to stay away from that, using her jab. That's the type of fight that's gonna be. So we'll see. Galley is strong, physically strong. So her dropping down to 115 should probably have a little bit more strength. And then Metcalf is dropping down to 115 too. So yeah, that's cool. I think they're gonna have the heavyweight, the Cuban heavyweight on this card. The younger brother, Pero. I think he's gonna be on this card too. Benavidez and McKaylen. So it look like this fight gonna be good for the fall. Don King represents Noel McKaylen, so he's good with the offer with Benavidez because Don King he'll send those cease and desist letters quick as hell. So it look like he's on board. Him and Samson is trying to make this fight happen. This will be a unified fight at cruiserweight division. Maybe the most. Um, I ain't gonna say this is a big fight, but I don't know. Probably the biggest cruiserweight fight as far as like accolades since the World Boxing Super Series, since Usyk was there. I say that. So we'll see. I mean, this is an interesting fight though. because Michaela can box. You know what I'm saying? He's a solid cruiserweight. He been there for a while. He gave Breeders his toughest fight. I thought he beat Breeders in the World Boxing Super Series, to be honest. And you know what Benavidez brings to the table. He gonna try to break his will. So they talking about the fall. I think I just said November or some shit. So let's get it. But I hope this means like I still want to see. So right here, this is 2 fights in a row at cruiserweight for Benavidez. So maybe he's tapped in with staying there, which is cool because it's him going back down to cruiserweight. I mean to light heavyweight. That's dangerous. So we've seen that happen in the past where that's the biggest weight jump in boxing, 25 pounds, right? He came in 196. So basically, I would say around like 20 pounds, whatever, right? But that's the biggest jump in boxing, light heavyweight to cruiserweight. So that's taxing on the body. And let's be honest, Benavidez ain't always been the most disciplined guy. You know what I'm saying? I seen him at Pacheco's fight. It was Pacheco and Hitchens. When Hitchens fought Limos and Pacheco fought McCallum. This dude was ringside drunk as hell. Benavidez, like, wow, like I'm talking about belligerent drunk. They had to take this dude out. The security had to take him out because he was out there wilding. You know what I'm saying? And that was what 2024. I forgot. So he ain't the most disciplined guy. So that's why that would have been probably like one of his hardest jumps, hardest things to do, jumping back down from cruiserweight to light heavyweight, and then fighting Dimitri Bivol. You know what I'm saying? Bivol, he proved that he's back. He ain't really lost a step. The movement and the in and out shit, the way Bivol fight, that'd be a tough fight. But we'll see. This one I actually like this better because I think hopefully air quotes this can get us closer to Benavidez versus Jabba. The IBL title is vacant. David Naika and Floyd Monson gonna fight for that. They're gonna fight for Eliminator, and then the winner is gonna fight Vidal Riley for the vacant IBF. So in the meantime, these guys can fight. I guess if they want to clean that business up, they can do that. So yeah, it's interesting though. Don King, I'm blessed off on this. Yeah, nah, I ain't surprised either. Just like the Puerto Rican belt goes to the Puerto Rican fighter. Didn't Oscar Lazo have an international title at featherweight last night? Oh shit, that's how it is. He should stay at 200. He didn't look great against Volchis or Morel. It seemed like it was a tough cut. That's true. Looked better against Yard, but yeah, that is true. I like him better at 200. He can be the man there. Um, and bring those guys up to him because damn near everybody that's making a fight at light heavyweight, they walk around at 200 pounds, like everybody basically. So he can be such of an attraction where he can demand those guys to come to him. Uh, you know, yeah, bro. And until he ready to full on take on the heavyweight division. But I think it's a couple of fights for him at cruiserweight that can solidify him. This one because it's a third belt. Um, and then Jabba. Let's get it. Let's run that. But politics. Here's that PBC No Limit card. July 25th, July 26th in Australia. So they announced this. Earl Spence versus Tim Tszyu. We know Earl Spence did the interview with Andre Ward. That shit was interesting to me. It was good stuff. Jamal Charlo. It was announced, but I don't know. This dude was unpredictable, so we'll see if he even make it out there. Stephen Fulton versus Liam Wilson. This is interesting. I like this. I like this. Fulton coming off a trash performance. He looked like some bullshit in his last fight against Shaki Foster. Um, the weight cut and all that shit, but I ain't giving him no excuse because he knew what it was. And then what made that whole situation worse? They tried to like sweep that shit under the rug and still have him fight for the lightweight interim title. That shit was weird as hell. But he's facing what is it, Mr. Danger, Liam Wilson, who can punch. He can punch. You know, he had Navarrete down. I mean, he had it. He was close, but you know, Navarrete weathered the storm, came back and stopped him. I like that fight though. I'm not even gonna lie. I like it. That's a good comeback fight for Fulton because Fulton needed to redeem himself. You know what I'm saying? What weight they fighting at though? I didn't catch that. Let me see because this is interesting. I think Lynn Wilson, if it's at super featherweight, mm. Lynn Wilson is big and strong enough to make lightweight with no problem. I think he fought above 130 a few times too. Fulton, he didn't look good as a lightweight. So let's see if he's gonna be disciplined enough. This is a this event is like no other for these Americans because the time difference. You know what I'm saying? You damn near gotta get over there for about 2 weeks. That's what from my understanding, you know, talking to these boxers, when you go to Australia, you lose a lot of time and all that shit. So you probably gotta get over there 2-3 weeks ahead of time. But I like how Devin Haney did it. They did it real. They was smart over there. They was over there like 3 weeks ahead of time. The one thing about Devin Haney, you can say whatever about Bill and shit. Those guys are smart and wise to this game. How they get these other coaches flustered. That's another thing. We're gonna talk about that too. Um, but yeah, they nice with that. So yeah, Callum Peters is back. He faced another. Well, he faced an undefeated fighter right here. Um, Look, Callum Peters had a good performance against Joshawn James. Man, salute to him. I thought that fight was gonna be way tougher than what it was, and he came out on that. Raider versus Fleming. And then Paulo Acosta. He faced an undefeated fighter, Luis Tejada from Dominican Republic. We never know how good these Dominicans are because when they have all their fights over there, we don't know how good they are and if their power can translate. But this is not a bad card though. If Jamal Charlo do fight this guy, Mazier, he's gonna run through this dude. That's a mismatch. um, because it's gonna be at 168. This dude been fighting at 54 recently, and he been knocked out a few times. Yeah, if Charlo can make it down there and actually be disciplined enough to get down there, he's gonna run through this dude. He might stop him with a jab or some shit. Too big and too strong. Crocker went out 2 weeks ago. That's good. Smart. That's smart. Yeah, that's smart. Tank Davis, Kid Austin, those guys who ordered the fight. They're supposed to be in negotiations. As this one say, they target for the fall. Oscar De La Hoya said he trying to get Kid Austin to fight Lucas Body. He don't think Tank is gonna be available. So I don't know. Tank is unpredictable. We seen him yesterday, you know, on the social media shit going crazy. I guess that means he's back. I don't know what to make of it. It is what it is. It's just entertainment at the end of the day. Because after all of that shit, all I ask myself is like, so when he's coming back, you know what I'm saying? Because we need Tank in the game. But yeah, the WBA ordered this fight. They've been prolonging this for a minute. Ever since Tank got his legal issues and all this shit, they've been prolonging it. So we'll have to see. Now I know they in negotiations though, PBC and Golden Boy, but the way Oscar was talking, and sometimes you gotta take his word with a grain of salt too. He was saying like they trying to go another direction. So and Tank still got legal shit. It's like every time he pop out, then it's a new warrant or it's another warrant. You know what I'm saying? He was on AB stream and Dana AB, and the next day they dropped the, you know what I'm saying? They say he wanted for, you know, he got a warrant on him. I don't know, man. He's unpredictable. I mean, I don't know. That would be an interesting fight though. he'll have to be switched on because this dude Kid Austin is unpredictable. He athletic. He got some fast twitch muscles and he got some pop too. So he'll have Tank will be kind of cautious early, but as the fight goes on, he'll be able to capitalize on Austin's mistake, make a lot of mistakes. He be switching to southpaw just for the hell of it. And when a guy like Tank is like he a vet, smart with power, that might be some shit he can capitalize on. But I don't know. If he's not gonna fight, then let the next guy come up, man. Like let's get it. You know, let's get it. Then Bam and Christian Medina. I seen the WO post this, so I was gonna talk about it for a second. I think this the play. We seen Robert Garcia say that he wanted Bam to get one more fight. Um, he came through his title defense. Well, he won a title in a new division, 118 pounds, last week against Antonio Vargas. Vargas came to fight. He wasn't gonna lay down, so Bam had to put him down. And Bam was so nice, technically sound. His footwork is the best in the game, and that's how he'd be able to get those shots off from different angles, and these guys don't see it. Like the way he hit that knockout shot against Vargas last week was crazy, bro. I had to rewind that shit. I had to go back 10 seconds on my DAZN shit. I was like, I missed the shit. Damn, because he hit it happened so fast. Um, that was like that. So he's the WBA champion, and it's a whole bunch of drama with that title in itself. You know what I'm saying? With Susumi being the champion, and then they flip flopping Susumi and Vargas back and forth. It was weird. Still weird. Christian Medina, he won the WBO title, and he beat TK, I believe. He had one defense against Adrian Curiel. I think that was February. Try to remember shit, yo. There's a lot of boxing in my head, so the way I do that, I be trying to remember shit. But Medina is a solid guy, tough. He's strong. He's been around. Um, Maybe this is Bam's next fight in the fall, and then that would be like the build up to anyway. You know what I'm saying? So Bam probably. I'm hearing that he may do San Antonio, a hometown fight. You know, and that would be basically kind of like a send off before he go to Japan type shit. But anyway, versus Bam, that's a super fight, and we can get that shit in the next within a year, bro. It's dope. That's one of the best fights in boxing. Pretty much number one and number two pound for pound, basically, depending on who you talk to. And I'm here for it. Z Pacino, what's good with you, bro? Yeah, he disappeared. Man, yes, that's what we about to hear about him. If Angeletti is cool with his injury and can get back, that might be a that might be a Pro Box TV. Who he with? Box Stars? I forgot who he with. The Mexican promoter. And I'm surprised Eddie ain't signed him. Actually, surprised Eddie ain't signed him, but maybe he know Bam ain't probably trying to stay that long. But just for some insurance, um, I can see that. Pro Box about to start. They're gonna drop a $5 package. I can see Angeletti versus Salas as part of that package. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Box Star. Okay. Yeah, I can see that. At the WBO and the IBF is having a convention in December, and I did hear Gustavo say on Najee's podcast that they're gonna do a the IBF and WBO regional title champion against each other, and they trying to do some unifications. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to see, a WBO champion versus the IBF champion, all the way up the card. That'd be dope. Let me match make that shit, bro. That'd be dope. They can do something like that. That's cool. They getting together doing a joint convention, and for y'all don't know, normally at these conventions, we know the teams of these fighters, they go up there try to lobby for their guy, get them a higher position in the rankings, and have them fight for regional titles and all that shit. The regional titles are important because by the sanction body because it's letting them know you loyal. So if you got like the WBO global title and you defend that shit like 3-4 times, so that supposed to move you up the rankings and give you some good standing. You know what I'm saying? But every sanction body have their different courts and whatever. I like listening to it. It's interesting, bro. I'm telling you. When I first got tapped on that shit, like I want to say 2019 or something, I started paying attention. I'm like, yo, like I was telling O'Shaquie Foster to go to the convention, bro. I'm like back in 2020, 2021, probably right after he fought. It was on Ring City, so it's probably like 2021, Ring City, when he beat Mickey Roman. I'm like, bro, you need to go to the WBC convention, bro. I don't know if we gotta do that shit on Zoom or whatever, but you need to go on that bitch. Um, nah, I don't think so. Oh well, maybe, but not in December. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they can get that. Maybe that can work, but not in December. I don't see it in December. Not in Orlando. In that on that card, it's gonna be on that card. It's not gonna be like no crazy big names. It might be like the lower weights, unifying or some shit like that, or maybe the ladies. But I don't see that fight. But it possibly can happen though. They probably be they both keep the Keyshawn got to win the title, and then Crocker he retained his title. Then yeah, but if Keyshawn fight if he fight for the WBO title this year, that's his last fight in 2026. He ain't gonna get more than three. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. I missed one. Renee, he would vacate the WBO to avoid Kara. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. Huh. That would be good. Cause he's gonna stay loyal to the WBO. Yeah, he's probably losing the Paro. Yeah. Let's see. That's coming up this week. Yeah. Paro got some cracks, yo. I was in the gym with him, the top rank gym. It was fight week. Well, it was Benavidez and Andre. Devin Haney he had a workout, media workout, but this dude was taking forever to get there. So that was the Regis fight because Paro fought on that undercard, I believe. Paro, yeah, he cool. That dude got some pop too. Yeah, Paro good. He said, "Who you favor?" I like Cedeno. I'm going off this. This is my narrative. I'm the only one that been saying this, and maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but hey, I'm gonna take those odds. Everybody who boots spar, those dudes get diminished and they lose their next fight. Now he didn't spar Johan Ingram, but he lost. But he ain't spar him. I remember he sparred Michael McKinson, and he lost to Najee. Nah, what's his name? Talinga Embiid lost to him. Jaleel Hackett was in there sparring him and lost his next fight. I thought he won, but he didn't look good in his fight. He be diminishing these guys. Canelo. That's just my theory. I could be wrong. I could be reaching. Maybe I'm putting on a narrative. I'm pushing a narrative like these dudes do, like they be doing in these YouTube streets. But shit, I'm gonna go with the odds. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it. I'm gonna pick Daniel just off the strength of that. And I like Shushu. I think Shushu he's gonna beat Palacio. Could be tricky, but I like Shushu. I'm gonna take Cedeno. He's fighting that dude with all the tattoos and shit. Yeah, Ibich. Yeah. He was over there sparring boots and shit. Now, if somebody can get me and be like, well, Jack Catterall was over there. I don't know if Jack was sparring him, but Jack looked good. He looked the best. One of the best times I've seen Jack when he had that one camp with Bozy, and then he knocked out Echo Usama, knocked him off the ring. He looked real good. Is No Limit and PBC tied together? Yeah, they've been tied together ever since Tim Zoo came to Minnesota and fought Terrell Goucher. So what's that? 2021, 2022? I don't know. But ever since then, they've been locked in. Yeah, so Daniel was good. And not just, that's basically pretty much a 50-50 fight. So me picking Daniel, well, I'm picking him for the, you know what I'm saying? But take away what I said about the boots thing. So Daniel can win that fight. You know what I'm saying? Good puncher. Jihad Tucker still make a lot of mistakes, but he has Jihad Tucker to his credit. He's a dog. He's gonna make this dude fight. And he awkward with his shit, but he still keep his hands low. And with a guy like Cedeno, who got a lot of experience and amateur stuff and a solid puncher, then he can clip him. You never know. Yeah, the dude got all the tattoos and shit. Oh man, Santiago. Damn. He won the world title too. Um the Shakur, Devin Haney, Tank, or Hitchens, Keisha. This shit is funny to me. I don't never take all that shit so seriously where, you see guys on here, you gotta pick a side. I'm team Haney, I'm team whoever, team Tank, and then they go at the other people. To me that shit, it don't really mean that much because if you're not telling me if they fighting or not, then I'm not really interested. That's just me. Everybody else can fall for the other shit and go back and forth and critique Bill and all that. That's cool. Excuse me, but either fight I think we should have. Like if we get Devin and Keyshawn, I like that fight. I think that's actually a better fight for Haney, actually, style wise. Interesting to see how Whitaker looks in US debut. Oh yeah, yeah. So Whitaker versus Richard Rivera coming up this week. I think he's gonna be fine, just fine. I think he got over his, you know, he kind of passed anything that was bringing him down in that Liam Cameron fight. The second fight, he ran through him. He's good. Leo Attain, yeah, he'll be back. He'll be out here for the Pacheco card. They'll probably give him some light work. I say give him Jermaine Franklin though. They laugh at me and say he ain't ready, man. The way Jermaine Franklin been looking, shit, I fucking right. Give me a little 6-week camp. You know what I'm saying? But rightfully so, they're gonna move him slowly. Leo Attain, get him one of these heavyweights out here, I guess, and let him look good and wow the crowd. So yeah, that's good. They moving him correctly. He had a lot of fights in his first year. What, six or seven? So that's good. And give him some experience. That's the one thing I like about Eddie though. He'll bring his UK guys over here to get them some experience just fighting over here. You know what I'm saying? He did it with I was actually at this show when Conor Ben fought Pete Dobson. He had a bunch of UK guys on that undercard. It wasn't George Ladard, but the other guy, middleweight. I can't think of his damn name. He was on the card. Jelly Fisher was on that card too. But I think Whitaker gonna be just fine. I think Haney dropped the ball and missed out on the round rematch. Um, I think he dropped the ball and missed out on the unification with Rowley. That's the one. You know what I'm saying? That's the one right there. Look at attain weight jumps in a short period of times. He not got an ounce of fat on him, all muscle. I feel, I feel. No, I think Haney dropped the ball on the. He dropped the ball on that Rolly fight. They was gonna be fighting around about they was gonna fight like soon, like July, August. Now the hiccup with Ryan Garcia is Ryan Garcia is not enrolled in 365 right. Well, he is a WC champion, but they want it more strenuous. You know what I'm saying? They want that shit more. I don't know. Whatever. They want him to start. I don't know how that shit is. But it's over drug testing, basically. Um, it is what it is. I thought the Rolly. See, I actually think Haney kind of came out on a bad end of the stick with the Rolly situation because see, I'm like, I understand the whole play and everything. I get it. They want you to kill what you eat. Jimmy Sands, yeah. I was there. Yeah, Jimmy Sands. There it is. Appreciate you. I don't remember Ladar, but I appreciate that. Maybe I was in and out. But after they went on the thing saying that Rolly was ducking, Rolly was this, Rolly was scared, he's this. Rolly went quiet. Then they like, yo, we sent you something, bro. We sent you a contract. Devin came on wax and said, yeah, the money look good, so we gonna see. Then all of a sudden, the money ain't good. So I'm like, if somebody ducking you and you the boogeyman, you Debo, and somebody presents you with a opportunity and you turn it down without okay, I don't like this. I don't like the structure of this deal. I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna let's take that. Let's shop the fight. I don't know if they did that. Did he take that fight like he was like he said like Bill said he did with Devin and say we did with Shakur at 35. We're gonna give you 25%, but I'm gonna go shop the fight. He shop the Rolly fight and be like, you know what? I don't like this deal, so I'm gonna counter offer. This is what we're gonna do. Nope, none. I don't know if that happened. So I feel like that's a he dropped the ball on that because I thought that'd be a very winnable fight for him. Um, the WO top ranked Jay Prince they playing this game with the sanction bodies because of their relationships and ordering Keyshawn. I mean, I get why he's number one and the mandatory. That don't mean that I agree with it, but it is what it is. I'm with it because I like Keyshawn versus Devin. I think that's a sellable fight. Keyshawn gonna sell that fight. You know, we know what Devin brings to the table. Bill gonna sell the fight. You know, um, so it'd be good. You know, the whole thing with Shakur, they playing the game like, well, we want Shakur and this, that, and the third, and I want that fight too because it's like two top guys. But as a fan, and I'm being honest, and I'm looking at having a fight party for that, right? I'm gonna have people over here like, man, this shit is boring, because I had it happen before. I have people come over and they over there in the refrigerator and shit. So for that, it's probably not like the most intriguing fight to get. Because honestly, maybe that fight ain't even that big, ain't that big like that. Like they saying. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Maybe it'll do well at the gate if they put it at certain locations. I mean, if they did a strong gate at MSG with Shakur and Teofimo, so maybe that fight can do it. They can go there if Devin can actually fight there. He has some situations there with Tiger Johnson, so I'm not sure if that's a proper location. But still, it's just right now. It's just a media blitz. That's all it is. It's a media blitz. It's everywhere. Every time you log in or to X or Twitter, wherever you go to, Instagram, YouTube, that's everywhere. That's what it is. They hyping the fight, but shit ain't getting real because they quiet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't got quiet yet. You know what I'm saying? And once they do, I think it's gonna happen. I think it's gonna be Shakur and Haney, but I think the sanction body is going to. I don't know. I feel like they're going to work with Devin on this one, but then again, I don't know. I don't know. The way he was saying, matter of fact, that they going to order the fight. Once they get ordered, it's a wrap. But this is boxing. Money talks. Will Keyshawn take a step aside package and say, "Yo, you gotta pay me for this"? I don't know. That can be a little slick business move by Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying? Let's order the fight, and now they do kind of got them in the corner per se, but it ain't nothing they can't get out of. Nothing too crazy. Make the fight though. Let's make the fight. You know, if Devin, I mean if Shakur, the way because the narrative is Shakur had the contract forever. They've been negotiating. He don't want to fight. We accepted 144. He don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? All right. He don't want to fight, bro. Go fight Keyshawn. That's the one. That's actually probably that's the one. That's that one right there. He gonna get credit for, and that shit gonna get promoted the way it's supposed to because Keyshawn gonna do his thing, and it's a better fight for you stylistically. You know what I'm saying? Um, I say just do it because what's gonna end up happening if that shit go to purse bid? Yo, that shit go to purse bid. You already know. You already know. So it makes sense to just to make a deal because Top Rank will just give you what you see what they did with the Sandor Martin fight. They gave them they bid like a what 1.2. It was crazy. So he vacated. So if they win the purse, if if it goes to purse bid, Top Rank wins the purse bid and bring that shit to Norfolk, that shit gonna go crazy. That shit would be sold out. However many people they get in there, it'll be sold out. So it actually makes sense they can just make a deal and just make that fight without if you know that if because you know the shit is coming, then make the fight. But on the other hand, maybe they lob into WO. Look, let us fight Shakur, and then we'll whatever we'll fight Keyshawn after or whatever the case may be. It is what it is. Make the fight. Nah. They just on there talking. I don't believe that shit. Like, what's the difference now? What's the difference from them trying to that fight really never really been close to being made. It's just online shit, and then people take what the camp say and they run with that. Never really been a fight that was really seriously talked about. Now I don't think it is either. You know what I'm saying? The only way this fight gonna happen if Tank come on over and holler at the people that they ain't been willing to talk to or do business with. Well, they've been doing business with, but not Tank. Because now Shakur put himself in a position where he gonna he's gonna be asking or he's gonna I don't say demand, but they're gonna be requesting way more money than they was requesting or would have requested before. So as it look like PBC ain't really doing business like that no more. Not like that, not the high end shit like that. So maybe Tank have to go over there and holler at Turkey then. And I'm just outside looking in. If they are doing business and that can be a PBC card, that'd be dope. I'm with it. I don't care how the fight get made. I'm just telling you how it look. Everybody got insight, then y'all tell me. But I'm just saying the way it's looking. Like if Earl Spence got to go to Australia, which nobody would ever thought of that in his heyday. Even I didn't think about that shit until they announced it in Australia. Like, what? You gotta go to Australia? So basically, they kind of giving up their assets and shit. You know what I'm saying? Benavidez went to Saudi. You know what I'm saying? Got his bag and bounced. So I don't know. I don't trust that fight to happen. So I'm gonna say no. But I think that I see Devin and Shakur. I feel like it's more realistic because they basically on the same wavelength with the business who they're dealing with. And I feel like I think it's gonna happen. But they more I feel like on Shakur's side, he been like on more mature about how he kind of make his decision. The 144 thing, I mean, to me, as like a competitor, I don't like it. I want to fight you at your weight that you're comfortable at, and then go get your belt. But I understand it, and he got the leverage because Haney agreed to it. You know what I'm saying? So he agreed to it. Now you got to come. So it shouldn't be no you know, all the excuses. You can't make no excuses if you agree to it. You signed that shit. You know what I'm saying? It looked on the outside, it looked like Shakur is taking his sweet ass time to make this deal. That's what it looked like. Is that really the case? I don't know. He said he won't negotiate, but now they negotiate. But I don't know. But see, that timeline gets sketchy. We don't never put context because when they heard him say in this recent interview, "Oh yeah, we in negotiations," people say, "See, I told y'all there was There was negotiating 2 months ago, right?" But when the 144 hit the thing, I feel like the real negotiations started when 144 was agreed upon, and that was what a couple weeks ago, a week ago, right? I forgot how long it was. So yeah, man, this media shit, bro, it's gonna twist and turn it, but it's needed because you got fans. They pushing the narrative and pushing it and making it everywhere you go. You gonna hear about it. You gonna hear about it, but that shit right there is only for the time being. It ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Nobody really followed through with it. Because the narratives that they pushing on these guys, it's shit happen all over boxing, bro. Everything, the whole shit, everything happens. It just goes in circles. But this shit get magnified because these guys in the algorithm. So if they in that, they in there, right? And everybody is tapped in, they should fight, bro. Like this shit be taking too long. Uh, all this shit, this whole shit with Shakur and Tank yesterday, like it's alright, it's cool, but that don't mean that Tank is back. Maybe he was bored. Maybe he was waiting for his girl for her nail appointment. And he was bored. I don't know. Like it's weird. He supposed to be in negotiations with Schofield. Like ain't no like nobody cleared up none of his legal issues. Like everybody is taking what he was saying on social media yesterday with, you know, that's word is bond type shit, bro. Yeah, bro, yeah. But ain't nobody answer the prevalent questions. How his legal situation is. He good? Because they won't talk about him fighting in the summer. They're talking about him fighting in the fall, October, November. So that let me know that, and he look like he's in some solid shape, right? Tank, he always since I'm gonna say what fight was that? I forgot what fight it was. He kind of kept himself in and around his weight class. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really been going crazy and looking all husky in between fights. So he good on the weight shit. He's good. So I mean, are we gonna get the other questions answered? Because that shit right there don't do nothing for me if they're not gonna fight. And then yesterday, Oscar talking about they looking for another opponent. Now, like I said, Oscar's word you can believe, you not believe. But obviously they trying to get out of this shit. You know what I'm saying? And the deadline for that shit was when? When the deadline for taking Schofield? It's coming up pretty soon, right? I don't know. Uh, so it's I don't know. I just say this for Tank, yo, salute. Like he got a lot of hardcore fans. Or I ain't gonna say hardcore fans. He got a lot of ride or die fans that's gonna ride for every word, every picture, every tweet, everything he do. They ride for. So that shit's crazy. That he don't even fuck with them like that. He don't care about them. You know what I'm saying? He probably just focused on this getting his bag and going on about his business. But that shit is crazy that people would. It's like he Jesus or something, bro. They go off every single word. This dude posts a picture of a tree. Somehow that shit is related to fighting Shakur Stevenson. You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Like how we how we relate like any picture he do, it got something, man. You know he coming at Bill and that picture right there. I'm like, what? This dude got a picture of his kids at Disney World. How's that got anything to do with Bill? But that's how rabid his fans is. And bro, he in a position where he can't lose. Like that draw he had with Lamont was like he lost, bro. And then he didn't go back and get it back. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go back and get the Lamont fight back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how y'all trust him as his supporter. I don't trust him. I like to watch him fight and shit, and I'm cool with if he got a fight date. I'm down. But like, far as like, he gonna be back. He gonna be good. I don't understand that shit, bro. That's some lawyer ass shit. But I don't know. Those be the ones be butthurt and try to switch it up. if he does, he already proved that he don't. He's going like I ain't never seen people push a narrative or push something, and the fighter saying something different. People is pushing everything Captain Kenny is saying, but Tank said I don't even fuck with them no more. But every time Kenny say something, man, I told y'all they didn't want to fight him. I said, man, he hurt Shakur, man. Shakur, he knocked his tooth out. We putting our whole truth and belief system on Cap and Kenny, but Tank over there saying, man, I don't want to fuck with them dudes. Shit's crazy. You gonna go with the fighter or Cap and Kenny? You know what I'm saying? I hope, man, if Tank go back to Coach Cunningham, bro, shit's gonna get ugly. I hope he go back to Coach Cunningham. That was the best he ever looked to me. He was sharp. He was disciplined. He was on his shit. He won't fucking around. And the opponent won't all that. But just the mindset and how sharp he was, them guys ain't gonna fuck with him if he got Coach Cunningham. If he on that type of time. I don't trust them other two niggas. I don't fuck with them because I feel like they kind of just let Tank do whatever and this, that, and whatever. Then they go off. Nah, bro. I'd rather it be like business. Coach Cunningham was no nonsense. You gonna come here, you gonna work. If you're not gonna work, then leave. I like that. Keep it like that. And that's what Tank probably needs. He needs somebody just to not hold his hand, but make sure he pushing himself. But Tank never really had trouble being in dog ass shape, not like that. I'm just saying, just the optics of shit. Like his last fight, he had another coach, a lead trainer. We forget about that. He had another trainer. He didn't even have them dudes was just holding on. They was just cornermen. But Barry Hunter was the guy. So yeah, bro. Hopefully Tank come back though. He's the man. He still can fight anybody as the cash cow A side guy that bringing a lot of shit to the table for boxing. If he want to fight anybody, I don't care who they is, he can get them. And that's why when people say, "Well, this one ducking him, that one ducking him," bro, he's the man. He can say what he want again. He want what? Man, get that shit to him, man. Let's go. I'm gonna stop him. He ain't on that. He told us in his last interview for Fight Week, what have Shakur done? He irritated by the sound of his opposition. People, we want to see him fight certain guys, and he get irritated by that. So I'm like, shit, he don't want to fight those guys. So let's move on. Who you gonna fight then? Because we need you in the game if you're gonna be in the game. That's how I'm with it. If you don't want to fight those guys and they less than you with this, that, and third, then who else? You know what I'm saying? Lamont Roach. I still want to see that Lamont Roach rematch. You gotta clean that up. But it is what it is. Yes, sir. Salute to everybody coming through the building, though. I appreciate the time. This week we'll be back. We got a big fight week, though. I'm looking forward to Boost and Xander. So we'll come back and do a pre-gaming show. Just a preview the upcoming fight week. Let y'all know who's fighting, where they fighting at, picks, breakdowns, all that good shit. What else? I think man. We're gonna be tapped into this fight week for sure. Salute to everybody coming through the building. I appreciate the time, and I'm out.